Hi guys, welcome back to Vedic Astrology. Today we are going to be talking about the October monthly reading. And in this video we are going to talk about some of the key dates which will be, depicting the transits of the planets into your respective signs and houses. And based on that we are going to analyze as to what sort of an impact you are going to see through the course of this month. So without further ado, let's quickly jump into the key dates that are going to come into play. Now, guys, as you can see on your screen here, Sun is going to be in the sign of Virgo until October 16th. And from October 17th onwards, it is going to be coming into its sign of debilitation in Libra. Mercury is already in the sign of Libra from October 2nd onwards, and it will move into the sign of Scorpio from October 24th onwards. So it's going to see, a dual shift in this month. Then you have Venus, which is sitting in the sign of Leo until October 8th. And then from October 9th onwards, it will also move into its sign of debilitation in the sign of Virgo. Mars is in Libra until October 26th. And from October 27th onwards, Mars will be moving into its own sign of Scorpio. So that's a great movement which is coming into play for you guys. Then you have Jupiter in the sign of Gemini until October 17th. And then comes the big change where Jupiter moves into its sign of exaltation from October 18th onwards. So you see, Sun is coming into its debilitation, Venus is coming into its debilitation, Mars, on the other hand, is coming to its own sign whilst Jupiter is coming into exaltation. So, pretty important movements as we can see through the course of this month, with Saturn continuing in the sign of Pisces. But it's important to know that in its retrograde motion, it is now going to be moving into the Purv Bhadrapada Nakshatra in the sign of Pisces itself. Then you have Rahu in Purv Bhadrapada Nakshatra. Again, both Rahu and Saturn happen to be in the same nakshatra. It is ruled by Jupiter. And this is going to be interesting because Saturn's retrograde movement is bringing it much closer to Rahu at this point in time through the course of this month, whilst Ketu continues in its Purva Falguni Nakshatra, that of Venus itself in the sign of Leo. So Cancerians, as you guys can see on your screen here, you have Jupiter in your 12th house and he will be coming into exaltation this month in your Lagna, in your Rashi, if you're watching this from a moon sign perspective, from 17th of October. We'll talk about that at length. Then you have Ketu in your second house. He is conjunct initially with Venus. Whilst Mercury is in your second house, he'll immediately translate into your fourth, where he'll become conjunct with Mars, and later Sun will also be joining in. So Mercury will be there till 24th of October. Rahu bang opposite to Ketu in the 8th house, and Saturn continues in its sign of Pisces in the retrograde mode. It is still in the deepest retrogression, as I had said in the September monthly reading as well. Now, guys, I know September reading was a hard one to go through. We had two major eclipses, but there's a lot of positive insights that are coming into picture for the course of this month. Your 11th Lord and your 4th Lord, which is Venus for you guys, Cancerians, is sitting conjunct with Ketu in the second house. Now, 11th Lord in the second is a strong Dhan Yoga in itself. It is a promise of good monetary gains because you have the Lord of wealth, gains, desires, wish fulfillment, targets, objectives, whatever you're chasing, as well as your mental peace, emotions, happiness, your motherland, your place of residence, your assets. So Venus holds, major importance. He's coming into the second house, 11 places away from itself, and then 4 places away from itself, which is a positive sign. But at the same time, you have Ketu placed there for about a year and a half duration, all the way till December of 2026. And Ketu is trying to stretch you away from materialism, from money, from the desires of life, so to speak. And that is why it is a turbulent combination to have that Venus. There would have been certain things, initiatives that could have worked out for you. If not, you still have this 1 week duration in the month of October where you can prioritize your objectives and goals and hopefully achieve them as well. There is a strong probability that you will find success in it if you have a right natal dasha, antar dasha running in your natal chart. But then From there, this Venus is giving an aspect. He is mutually getting aspected by Rahu as well. So he's giving an aspect towards the eighth house. There is definitely be going to be some sort of an interest within you to research about new things, to deep dive into matters and understand what are the areas that you have to learn and discover about. Learning and unlearning is going to be a priority for you throughout until December 2026. But there is going to be a sense of beauty, sense of learning about health, healing, occult of some way, which is going to stick around with the presence of Venus here. Venus then, moves into its sign of debilitation, 12th to itself and 5th to itself, respectively. Now, this is a crucial movement because whilst on the face of it, it might appear to be bad. One, Venus is debilitated, and second, Venus, like a soft planet, benefic planet coming into the third house, is not an easy placement for Venus to be in. But guys, it is not a bad thing for Venus to be debilitated in the third house. Yes, there could be a certain degree of lack of effort, but that is fulfilled, that is supported through Sun's presence there. And very importantly, you have to understand that debilitation of any planet also has an exaltation aspect of it, which is coming towards your ninth house where Saturn is placed in retrogression. Now, this is good for people because whatever goals, objectives you were chasing, you are going to find the benediction, support, guidance of your luck, of your elders, your mentors, guides, your superiors at work if you're a working professional, your boss, your manager, your client if you're a business person. So there is a positive support coming out for you. And if there was some level of discrepancy that you observed with the conjunction of Venus with Ketu in your second house, you will find a definitive respite from that. The important bit is that you should not drop the guard and continue to put the effort that are required for it. Because with Venus coming in there, yes, there could be this intent that you might not have enough zeal, push, power, intent within you. But hopefully, that is cancelled out with the presence of Sun. And you have to remember that the deepest retrogression of Saturn is giving an aspect towards that house as well, and a retrograded aspect. So somewhere or the other, Saturn is also testing you with that with Cancerians. So do not drop your guard, do not drop the ball at any point in time. Now you have to note here that the aspects of Saturn are retrograded towards your third house. It is giving a retrograded aspect towards your 11th house as well, which means your targets and objectives will require a revisit, some kind of a hard work, some kind of a course correction before you make things happen for you. And that is why I wanted to connect the dots for you. And then he is also giving a retrograded aspect towards your sixth house. Important bit to notice that this sixth house retrograded aspect, while it is forming a Shatruhanta Yoga, it will give you a tendency to not actively engage with your enemies. In fact, it's Jupiter's aspect towards that is also saying that you will take a more principled approach. You will take much more of a spiritual approach in terms of giving your attention only where it is required. And Cancerians, you are soft people, kind people, so it kind of aligns to your energy as well. Venus, though becoming 12th to itself, just reminds us that there could be some level of loss, some level of hiccup that could come into picture with respect to your property, your asset. Maybe you have to be careful whilst driving, or there could be minor scratches. There could be some kind of a turbulence that might come in, resulting into you making some spend. It could also be, in general, lack of emotional and mental peace for you guys during this period, because Venus denotes your mental sanity, and it is a creative planet. So you might have certain impact on that front too. So just be watchful on those areas. Now, Sun, which happens to be your second lord where Ketu is placed, he is placed in the third house and he is inching towards a sign of debilitation. The third house placement for Sun is not a bad position to be in, because a malefic planet like Sun can give you the ability, the courage, the willpower, the innate thinking to fight out the challenges that are coming your way. So that is an important position for Sun to be in. He is giving an aspect towards the ninth house as well, into the sign of Pisces of Jupiter, which is a positive bit. Again, this is going to uplift even a spiritual connection with your seniors, elders, gurus, mentors, teachers, or maybe a travel to some kind of a spiritual place might also be on the cards. But you have to remember that he is getting a retrograded aspect from Saturn, who is in its deepest retrogression since September onwards. And I keep reminding that bit, folks. So that some Saptak Yoga is coming into picture with Saturn, and not one of the most pleasant things to have. So there will be a definitive dent in the outcome of your efforts. And as I was saying, that the revisiting of things, doing things again because of the retrogression of Saturn, is going to be a possibility. Do not crib about it. Do not get worried. Just consider it to be a part and parcel of the game, and you will realize that things eventually shall materialize for you. In the second half of the month, Sun will be moving towards your fourth house into its sign of debilitation. Now, good part is that he's giving an exalted aspect to your 10th house, but Sun's presence, one, is burning in the fourth, and then it is in debilitation. So it is a better thing to happen, because ideally, it would be a much more turbulent spot. For example, in case of Cancerians, if for a Cancer Lagna person, Sun gets exalted in the fourth, so not one of the best things to happen for that matter. It has its own positive impacts too. But coming back to you guys, Cancerians, what you will realize is that uh, this debilitation will help bring a lot of submissive energy, a lot of devotion, a lot of amicability in your behavior, and probably some loss of peace and the mental sanity, as I was alluding to earlier, would result into actually auguring well, because debilitated Sun makes a person much more receptive to ideas, and you will realize that you will be able to thus be accommodate everything that is happening around you and find peace with it. So it's an irony that I say that there is a lack of peace, but that transit of Sun is going to help you in a way. Now you have to also understand that Sun coming in here is giving a exalted aspect towards your 10th house, which is a great thing to happen, because from a work, profession, career perspective, from your karma perspective, you will be putting your best foot forward. You will not be shying away from the right efforts that are required, and you will be brimming with energy as well. Why? Because Mars is already placed here, and he is also giving a direct aspect to his own sign, to his own house. He's also impacting your 11th house with his 8th aspect, and it's a protective aspect. So you could be careful about the initiatives that you are making. You might not be blabbering too big about what you're trying to do, or kind of market that heavily. Not much of a show off, so to speak, would come for you, which is a smart thing to do. Mars is also giving an exalted aspect towards your 7th house. So people who are in businesses, people who are married, you are going to see some heightened energy in that front. On a business front, you could have a lot of willpower, drive, energy to achieve the goals that you've set for yourself. But from a relationships perspective, now when I say relationship, I counter both your professional relationship with your business partner, or your personal relationship with your spouse or your partners. That could see some bit of a challenge, especially if you are not able to monitor on your tongue, on your communication, how you are articulating things. Why? Because this Mars is conjunct with Mercury, who is the lord of your third house itself, and he is sitting in conjunction in the fourth house. Again, all of these three planets do not find great directional strength in the fourth house. So that makes things tad bit uncomfortable. And that is where my recommendation will be: please be watchful of how you are articulating your sentences, how you are communicating your ideas, because your intent might not be wrong, but it could be construed due to the sheer frustration that you might encounter in this month. So be watchful on those areas, and if you are able to move beyond that, I think it's a very positive month, because from a work, career, profession perspective, all of these three planets are giving excellent aspect towards your 10th house. uh, Mercury also happens to be your 12th lord along with your third lord, and he is going to be moving there from 2nd, 3rd of October onwards itself, becoming conjunct with Mars all the way till 24th of October. This means that there is a possibility of some level of gains, positive news coming in for people who are residing in foreign countries. Many people might even want to make some sort of a shift, movement coming into place from your current place of residence to a faraway destination, maybe a foreign location as well. Any kind of visa related matters are going to see some sort of a delay, but they are going to revive again after a couple of weeks duration. I think things will start materializing better on that aspect as and when Saturn becomes direct as well. Yet, I see a lot of promissory note on that perspective. You might choose a certain degree of isolation over too much of socializing during this period, because the 12th lord is in fourth. So maybe it is also going to be acting as a remedy if you don't do it, if it doesn't happen to you by force, by design. So you might want to plan around it and find some period of isolation, and make sure that you are able to collect your thoughts, elevate yourself spiritually and emotionally. Both of these planets are, as I mentioned, giving an aspect directly towards your 10th house. But later in the month, in the last part of the bit, Mercury from 25th of October, 24th of October will be in your 5th house, and so would be Mars, who happens to be your 5th lord as well as your 10th lord. Now, this is going to be a very interesting period for people who are looking for a job change. If you've been eyeing any kind of new job opportunities, I think a shift, a dramatic shift is coming in your career. and it will directly impact your gains as well. So there's also a possibility some of you might have change of roles internally within your current organization. That could be one of the things that you might be targeting for, or a new job altogether. Some of you will have elevation of your roles as well. So you might get promotions, which might result into some sort of financial gains as well. However, they will not be to the highest magnitude as you would desire or imagine. Now, when Mars is here in your fifth house, you have to understand that he will be giving an aspect, fourth aspect towards Rahu as well. And he is going to amplify your eighth house activities. So, a lot of research, digging of matters, figuring out sudden changes with your job or with your career, profession, around your children, around your romantic life could also come into picture. So, please be cognizant and see that you are traversing those relationships, those investments, your education, your change in job in a strategic fashion. Both Mercury and Mars from here will be giving an aspect towards your 11th house. So there is a definitive indication of you chasing your goals, albeit slowly, albeit with a delay, or maybe not to the fullest material impact that you might imagine. Okay. So a positive aspect there as well. But Mars is also giving an aspect towards your 12th house, which means that some sort of expenses, some sort of unexpected travel, unexpected changes, or just sheer rework are required from your side. A lot more grind might be needed from your side, which might make things tiring as well. So be prepared on that front. But it's a good movement for Mars in the fifth house, because this is going to make you a lot more driven, possessive towards your romantic partners, towards your investments. You could be very fiery. And that is why the 12th house expense could come across in terms of your new investment strategies as well. So I will not take that at all negatively. From a romance perspective, again, I will warn you to remain non argumentative and more submissive by nature. Sun's debilitation is going to help you on that front. But remember, Mercury and Mars will now be conjunct in your fifth house. So that is going to be crucial. Last but not the least, as we move further, we find that Jupiter, who is currently placed in your 12th house until the first half of the month, until 17th of October, will later be transiting towards Lagna, to your Rashi sign, into its Rashi of exaltation. Now, Jupiter sitting in the 12th house is giving an aspect towards your fourth, sixth, and your eighth house, and he is in trine with Rahu as well. So, yes, your interest towards the occult, your interest towards learning and unlearning skills, and coming out in a new shape, form, and a strength area is a high probability. Jupiter is a planet of knowledge. He's giving an aspect towards the fourth, which means knowledge of wider subjects, newer areas, bigger things that you had not controlled before, that you had not understood before. You would want to deep dive into those areas. This is a good thing that is happening, Cancer. It will elevate your, potentially some of your expenses as well into any kind of asset creation, remodeling of house, new purchase of a luxury product. But I think it will not be driven by demand, but it will be more driven by necessity. So you would have to make certain expenses, but you will make wherever it is rightly required. So I'm not too worried on that front as well. And then Jupiter is giving a protective aspect towards your sixth house as well. So he is going to maintain a good order in terms of your current work, profession, career, wherever you are operating, or in terms of your relationships with your peers. The good part is that once, thanks to its fast-paced movement, the Atichari movement of Jupiter, he is coming in much earlier into its sign of exaltation for about 45-50 days. And this will happen from 18th of October onwards. This is going to be a period where you will find some sudden improvement changes. As I said earlier, job related movement is definitely possible. Jupiter is doing an eighth movement to itself and coming into exaltation. So you understand that it's the end of one place, but beginning, because the sixth lord in itself is exalted. And then he's your ninth lord as well. So your luck, destiny, fortune will favor. Your new boss, your interviewer might like the effort. So it's an excellent period starting from mid of October all the way till early December, where people who have been thinking, and I said multiple planetary placements are kind of supporting that. Even Mars movement is on a positive sign, because he's also going eighth places away into a Lakshmi Sthan itself. So that's a crucial movement coming in for you folks. And people who have been looking forward to overcome certain medical issues, people who've been looking forward to overcome any kind of loans, litigations, those kind of financial troubles as well. It's a good period where you'll be able to find the right resolution to your problems. Then Mars is also, or rather, Jupiter is giving an aspect on the fifth house. Mars and Mercury both will get that aspect, and it is pretty good for people who are in education, who have kids, who are studying. Good for your romantic life as well. Just be watchful on your communication, but it is a good period in terms of improvement of your bond. And as I said earlier, very sound period for strategic planned investments. This is gonna also be a period where you will get a benefic aspect, albeit debilitated aspect of Jupiter into your seventh house. So from a relationship partnership, that aggression that was coming in from some Mars, you will be able to bring certain degree of balance with that blessing of Jupiter as well. So all in all, Cancerians, what I'm noticing is that week over week, transit over transit, things are evolving and they are coming in a much better shape and form for you guys. Hopefully, October month will be a lot more positive versus what we had discussed in the month of September. And if you guys have enjoyed this video, you've liked the effort that I've put into this, then I request you to please smash on that like button, subscribe to Dev Astrology, and keep watching. Om Namah Shivaya. Har Har Mahadev.